This is a great country, but I think it could be a greater country. And this is a powerful country, but I think it could be a more powerful country.
And I subscribe completely to the spirit that Senator Kennedy has expressed tonight, the spirit that the United States should move ahead.
She wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well.
Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest.
I think Mr. Nixon is an effective leader of his party. I hope he would grant me the same. The question before us is, which point of view and which party do we want to lead the United States?
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
There have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, the community,
well,
all
I've
this.
seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
But the people
I'm
on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
I know what it means to see people who are unemployed. I know Senator Kennedy feels as deeply about these problems as I do. But our disagreement is not about the goals for America, but only about the means to reach those goals.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out.
I want to compare what we're doing with what our adversaries are doing, so that by the year 1970, the United States is ahead in education, in health, in building, in homes, in economic strength.
But he would have been sitting in Moscow. Quiet, please. He would have been sitting in Moscow.
800,000 Polish Americans, how quickly you would give up, and what you think is a friendship with a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
The things that Senator Kennedy has said, many of us can agree with. There is no question but that we cannot discuss our internal affairs in the United States without recognizing that they have a tremendous bearing on our international position.
But her vice presidential pick says the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. Execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born.
He talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. Windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. The people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there. And
I think what we have to do, however, is have the president and the leadership set before our country exactly what we must do in the next decade if we're going to maintain our security in education, in economic growth, in development of natural resources.
I think this is so rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference.
She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.